Hi y'all, my name is Heather Dagley and I'm coming at you today to talk about how to choose the right strain of cannabis for you. Full disclosure, this is my first YouTube video ever, so thank you so much for watching. I'm so excited to continue to build up this channel and really spread my message. I also run a cannabis blog called Bud and Blossom, and what I'm doing on that blog is sharing the message about how cannabis, when coupled with other just healthy self-care practices like meditation, a healthy nutrition plan, intentionality behind our life can really contribute to a wonderful life in which you're able to achieve some of the goals that maybe you've been putting off for some time. One of the reasons that I'm actually talking about this is because cannabis, coupled with some of these other healthy behaviors, has really helped me to overcome some difficult times and come to a place in my life where I'm creating and sharing with others. So I know it can help propel you too. So I wanted to just kind of talk broadly today about cannabis strains. You know, for someone that might be new to cannabis, this could be a little bit overwhelming, knowing that when you go to the store, you're not able to just order something at the counter. You have to be more specific. You have to tell them what exactly you're looking for. And terms like CBD or indica or sativa, these can be a little bit overwhelming to somebody who's new to cannabis. So no worries, I'll do my best to give a high level perspective on how that all works today and help you out so that your first cannabis trip is a successful one. Basically, there's two different types of cannabis plants in general. There's the indica plant, grows a little bit smaller, the leaves are a little bit chubbier is the way I would describe it. Whereas there's also a sativa plant, it grows a little bit taller and the leaves are a little bit skinnier. And maybe you've seen this depicted in pictures and things like that. I also, if you can see up above me, I've got a picture of cannabis plant that one of my friends got me. That is a good representation of what sativa looks like. Okay. So oftentimes sativa is going to be a little bit more energetic. It's what I like to smoke if I'm going to take a walk outside or if I'm going to get on my bike and try to exercise a little bit. Whereas indica, a lot of times you'll hear it explained as like in the couch. You're going to feel a little bit heavier in your body. You might get a little bit sleepy. I'm not as big of a fan of indicas, although I know that they work wonders for people that, say, have trouble relaxing or maybe even getting to sleep at night. So it can be a big help depending on what you're looking for. Something else you're going to want to understand when you go and purchase cannabis at the shop is the difference between CBD and THC. And really, most of the products that you're going to be looking at in the cannabis store, it's going to contain both. So let me do my best to explain what the two cannabinoids are and why people are talking about them so much right now. So there's actually a lot of different cannabinoid molecules contained within the cannabis plant. Every strain, really every plant, is going to be a little bit different depending on the genes within that cannabis plant. But for the most part, you're going to have two main cannabinoids in each sample of cannabis. So one of them is CBD. The reason it's becoming so popular right now is this is the cannabinoid that's being marketed as the non-psychoactive portion of cannabis. So people can take it, not get that traditional cannabis high, but can still get a lot of the benefits that come with consuming the plant. So the ability to ease chronic pain, the ability to help with depression and anxiety, a lot of that has been tied directly to CBD, and yet the patient isn't, or the person consuming it isn't getting high at all. That's also one of the reasons that you see CBD being put into something like dog treats or even cat treats. You know, people want to be able to provide pain relief and the benefits of cannabis to their pets, but they don't really want to dose them and get them to a mental state that their pet didn't consent to. So that's a little bit about CBD right now. What's great is they can actually extract mostly just the CBD cannabinoid from the plant and put that into pills or put that into salves, topicals. In my home state of Washington State, you'll actually find CBD products at one of our local pharmacies. I'm not sure how prevalent this is becoming around the states, but I'm assuming that in various markets as legislation changes and consumers start to become more comfortable with CBD, this is only just going to increase. So CBD is great. That's not to say that THC, its sister cannabinoid, is not also great. I'm a big fan of THC myself. This is basically the main component in cannabis that really gets you to that consciousness altering state. And I love that portion of cannabis. The ability to smoke and reflect on, the frameworks that I live within, or that we all live within, or, question why is society like this, or what's the history behind this particular group, and how did we get here. It really helps me understand the world we live in, and it helps me understand also, look internally. Who am I? Why am I the way that I am? How can I improve my life? And things of that nature. So it just has this really great quality of making you question, and question for good. So that's a little bit about the difference between CBD and THC. Again, CBD is going to be your not psychoactive component, and THC is going to be your psychoactive component. Together, they breed a really beautiful experience. I am a full proponent of what's called full plant cannabis medicine. So I think, whenever you can, if you're allowed to smoke THC with your job, or you're not planning on driving, go ahead and smoke a distillation of the full plant, or go ahead and pack that full plant matter in the bowl and experience the entourage effect that comes with both different cannabinoids. But just know that they can be isolated as well. Okay, so with all that said, basically the difference between sativa and indica, and the difference between CBD and THC. Hopefully that's enough baseline context for you to go in and be able to speak to your bud tender about it. So what do I recommend next if you want to go and find the right strain for you? First of all, do a little bit of research on the different shops in your area. The laws are within the different United States right now mean that dispensaries are set up a little bit differently. In my home state of Washington, there are no dispensaries that are different from recreational cannabis shops, for example. When cannabis went legal, basically everything turned into a recreational cannabis shop. But I know that there are other states where there are medical dispensaries that are separate from shops. But what's great is these are all legitimate businesses at this point. And so, I like to use Yelp. Go ahead and go on Yelp, look up cannabis shop, look at the ones in your area, and read some of the reviews about others. If you're looking for something with a beautiful ambiance and setting is important to you, I know it's important for me. I want to go to a place that I like going to and makes me feel good about the product I'm about to buy, then go to the one that looks pretty in the photos. If that's not something you care about at all, and you're just looking for, who knows the best about the plant, or I want to talk to someone experienced, then go to that shop. There's all kinds of different shops out there. It's kind of like different grocery stores. You've got we have, let's see, what are some high-end ones? Metropolitan Market, or PCC here in Seattle, for example, your co-ops, and maybe your hippie Whole Foods, sort of along that line. Or you can go to Safeway, QFC, something middle of the line, Fred Meyer, or you can go to Winco and just, not that there's anything wrong with that, but go and have more of an economics first focus and get more bang for your buck. You'll be able to make the right decision by doing just a little bit of pre-research on the shops in your area. Once you've then decided, okay, I know what shop I'm going to go to, do a little bit of premeditated thinking. Think about what effects are you actually looking for by consuming cannabis. What got you thinking that cannabis is going to be right for you in the first place? Is it pain that you're working through? Well, maybe something that's CBD heavy is going to be important for you. Or are you looking for a little bit more of that consciousness altering? Do you want to experience THC and see what all the fuss is about? It also comes down to, your employment. Is this something where you're not going to get in trouble with your employer by consuming THC? If not, then go for it. So there's a lot of different factors. What's great is when you go into a cannabis shop, you can go to the bud tender and tell them, here's what I'm looking for. I want to get tired at 10 o'clock every night and be able to go to sleep by 10:30. Can you help me do that? And what's great is they can look through the products. They know a lot about the marketing. Different vendors will come in and actually talk to bud tenders, so they'll be able to provide the right answer for you. So you know, some people don't like going into stores and talking to people. I would say get rid of that fear right now. You're gonna get more bang for your buck in terms of what you're looking for if you're more honest when you go in and you talk to the bud tender. One other thing I want to say about the value of talking to bud tenders is sometimes when they know what you're looking for and maybe what you don't like, they're going to be able to bring up a different perspective of how to look at your cannabis consumption than you even thought about. Say you think you're looking for a sativa and you typically smoke the cannabis. You put it in a pipe and you light it on fire and you inhale that and you smoke it. They might be able to say, hey, I understand that you've been smoking this, but based on the effect you're looking for, I really think you ought to use a different ingestion method. Have you ever tried edibles? Have you ever vaped any cannabis? The reason because different ingestion methods will actually get you to a different space mentally and physically. So they can bring up, they're going to use that knowledge that they've been trained to have to help you get to the experience that you want to get to. Another thing that I really like about working with bud tenders when I go to shops is they can help you navigate unique nutritional challenges. Or like, for instance, I'm trying to do keto right now. And I shouldn't say I'm trying, I'm actually getting back onto keto after this recent Japan trip that I took. It's been a little bit slower than I would have liked, but here I am, new month, new me, getting back onto keto. So when I go into shops, I like to get edibles, but one of the problems I was running into is a lot of the edibles out there right now, they're candies. They are chock full of sugar, and for those of you following keto, you know that that's just not gonna work. That's gonna kick me right out of ketosis. So I go in there and I'm like, hey, I like edibles, but I'm tired of eating so much candy. What are my options for consuming an edible, but something that doesn't have any sugar? So they've been able to show me, okay, here are some of the capsules, or they're starting to sell sugar-free mints, or there's even some sugar-free sparkling water, which is my favorite, that I can take now and still be getting the high and the effect that I'm looking for, but still be maintaining my diet and not, sacrificing one goal to gain the other. So that's an awesome part about being able to be honest with your bud tender. I hope that's helpful as you go about picking the right cannabis strain for you. Like I said, it can be a little overwhelming when you're going out there and you're trying to figure out, what do I even communicate to get the right thing for me? Where do I go? What do I do? Breaking it down into 3 simple steps can help. So research the right cannabis shop that's in your local area that you feel comfortable going to. Think a little bit about, number 2, think a little bit about the effects that you're looking for, and don't start thinking about it when you go to the counter. It's going to be a lot better if you come in knowing, I want to be energetic or creative and that kind of thing. And then number 3, ditch any fear that you have about talking to somebody openly about it. Go up to a bud tender, somebody that looks friendly and you think that you can talk to, and just explain what you're looking for, and they'll be able to help you. Beyond that, there's also a lot of resources online. I'd like to promote my blog as a resource, also this channel. Feel free to reach out to me in the comments below or on my blog. You can find it at budandblossom.blog. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have about choosing the right strain for you. I've actually been helping a lot of my friends and family members go through this process recently, so it's something that I get really excited about because it makes me feel like I'm helping people live their best life.